Last time these two schools met was March 28th. Encinal went on an offensive tear, beating Albany 11-1 in 5 innings and ensuing the mercy rule. Albany looks to get its revenge today in senior day versus very same Encinal Jets. Hi, I'm Josh Glatt alongside Julian Levine. We're at Memorial Park for today's Albany-Encinal game. Julian, this time Albany is looking to hang in there and get a win for their seniors. What do they need to do to make this happen?
Well, Josh, in that 11-1 loss to Encinal, defensive mistakes proved costly. In order to prevent another offensive outburst, they'll need to play airtight defense. Zachary Chang, who had started the game, felt that he pitched well, but the defense let him down. That's going to be key today.
So, what's at stake for these two teams?
Well, both Albany and Encinal have clinched berths in the NCS Division III tournament. That'll start on May 22nd.
All right, and as we turn to the field now, the senior day ceremonies have begun.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen.
Zach Chang, the first to be honored.
Next up, Donnie Dennett. Accompanied by Don. Shockingly.
Here's
What are the odds of that happening?
Donnie Dennett.
Next up, you know we love him, Pike Goldschmidt.
Pike Goldschmidt, the catcher and former partner in the booth alongside me.
Come on down, Pike. Is Pike walking in a straight line? Yes, he is. Good, good, good. Well, there was a little coconut pocket the other day. Elijah Sudduth. Cheryl and Trent, come on down.
Elijah Sudduth.
Come on down.
He is shortstop today.
Apparently named Paulie Kennedy. Shirley and Paul, walk that proud feller down.
Paulie Kennedy.
Nicely done. Next up, we have Tommy Kurtz, accompanied by Mom Julie. Give him some love.
Tommy Kurtz is up.
Show them your appreciation, folks. Then there's Kyle Tannehill. You know him, you love him.
Now it's Kyle Tannehill. He's at third base today.
Patrick Zhu. Mom Sue, Dad Jean-Lou, come on down.
Patrick Shu, he's headed to Harvard next year.
Followed in rapid succession by Lucas Jovanovic with Mirko and Sheila. Come on down. Walk that tree down.
Lucas Jovanovic, who's headed to CCC to play baseball.
On the team, Mackenzie Giblin. Keeping this thing together with Lynn and Jim. Or I guess Jim's already down there. Walk them down. That is our senior contingent for the Albany Ball Club, ladies and gentlemen.
So those were our seniors being honored as they continue to get their flowers. Now standing along the first baseline to take pictures. The game should begin shortly.
And we will begin this contest going in not too long. Meantime, maybe a little music.
So on the mound today for Albany, it's going to be Jack Johnson. What can you tell me about Jack Johnson, Julian?
Well, Jack Robinson pitched
Excuse me.
a couple complete games the last times out for Albany. He was really responsible for the Cougars' turnaround as he pitched a complete game shutout against John Sweat and then a second complete game in a 3-2 upset win over St. Mary's.
And something I noticed on the Encinal lineup, they're going to be DHing for their catcher. Nick Solis is going to come in and hit for Ray Cole. So I've got to ask, this is always a constant debate, what do you think of the DHing position?
Well, DHing is Nick Solis. He's been hitting .257 this year for the Encinal Jets, and
but I mean the DHing position itself, not just him in and of itself, but the actual idea of switching out a player versus someone that can hit a little better. Do you think that's fair, or what does that do?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean,
allows teams more flexibility, and I think it even can often add to the strategy.
Right. But does it give one side advantage or disadvantage? 'Cause I know
Depending on.
that in the major leagues, the American League, they get a DH, the National League doesn't, and that is a hot button issue for many, and it can. Some people have said that it has helped the American League because for a while they won something like 11 straight All-Star games. Does that give them an unfair advantage?
Oh, well, I think certainly, especially in intra-league games and playoff World Series games where the AL is the home team, they've built their team so that they have a suitable DH, and National League teams don't have this luxury. They're filling spots for a different purpose.
Right. Well, we're at Memorial Park as the Albany Cougars take the field for their senior day. On the mound for the Cougars will be Jack Robinson. The field will be lined up like this. Pike Goldschmidt will be catching. Patrick Shue will be at first. At third, Kyle Tannehill. At shortstop is Elijah Sidhu. In left field, it is Jack Sadeth, excuse me. Check that. In center field, it'll be Paulie Kennedy. In right field, Gideon Leibowitz. Julian, what do you think? Because last time it was the Cougars defense that killed them against Encinal. What are you looking for this time?
Well, Pike has recently taken over the catching duties. Patrick's moved over to first from third, and Kyle's moved over from catcher to third base. So with the restructuring of the defense, it'll be interesting to see how they adjust. They've been playing like this for a few games, so we'll see if it.
And one side note, the senior Patrick Chang, Zach Chang, will be hitting for the pitcher Jack Robinson. To make a note of that. As Robinson gets his final warm-up, tosses in. The defense is getting warmed up, and who's set to lead off for Encinal? It's Khalil Johnson, their shortstop, number 21. As we await the start of this game, which will be now. It's the last pitch. Throw down to second. The infield for the Cougars will come in, meet on the pitcher's mound. And Cleo Johnson, some stats on him. He is
hitting .394 on the year.
So he's a good hitter, one of the best hitters that this division has to offer. That's why he's hitting lead off, I should say. As we start today's ball game, Johnson steps in. First pitch on its way. A high ball out to left. Foul. First pitch at 350. The weather, it's windy, so we're having some troubles here in the booth because of that. We're looking at weather that's 66 degrees, and the second pitch is high and outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes is the count. A high fly ball once again to left. Giving chase is Sidhu, and that's gone, a home run. Leadoff home run for Khalil Johnson.
And that's actually Johnson's second homer on the year.
Second of the year. Give Encinal the opening run. And that was a That was a shot, considering the dimension of this ballpark are a little funny. I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Yeah, that was very far.
Yeah, the right field fences seem to reach another atmosphere, and the left field fences are out in another area code. And now hitting is Brendan Collins-Bride, third baseman, as he takes ball number 1. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 1-1.
Collins-Bride's been one of the better hitters for this Encinal team this year, hitting .373 right now.
Called strike 2, low and outside. As that throw back to the pitcher gets by. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Collins-Bride takes a stretch, now steps in, awaits the 1-2. Ground ball, Tannehill fields it cleanly, on to first, out number 1.
That'll help Robinson settle down and focus
Definitely.
after that leadoff homer.
Can't let that rattle him this early.
Left side. For the first out, number 3, Byron Buckley stepping in. from
Stepping up
left
to the
side.
plate is Byron Buckley. And Buckley's been really this team's best player this year. He's hitting a hot .458. He's got 3 homers.
He's also the first left-handed pitcher that Encinal has thrown at Robinson. And the Cougars have some history. As that ball's fouled off. Count 1-1. The Cougars have some history with Brian Buckley. We spoke to Pike Goldschmidt this afternoon, the Cougars catcher. Julian, you want to? Sudeth is the shortstop for the Cougars.
This is his 4th year on the varsity team.
Ball low. Count runs even at 2. Two outside, count runs full. So after falling behind 0-2, Sudeth has worked his way back.
That's exactly what you like to see out of a lead-up hitter, someone that can work the count.
To right field, carrying and heading. It's going to be off the fence. Sudeth is going to stay at first. A good strong throw by Buckley to get it back in time.
And that's an example of how these odd dimensions play. The right field fence, very high.
Right, and that's also what the Cougars want after falling behind in this early frame.
Stepping up with a runner on first. Nobody out.
Now it's Kyle Tannehill, the Cougars' third baseman. Sudeth takes a lead. Ball inside will get past their catcher, Ray Cole, and Sudeth will have a passed ball.
And right away, the Cougars have a runner in scoring position.
Now for Kyle Tannehill, runner at second, no outs. Bottom of 1, already down by 2.
Ball 1. Sudeth at second, staying close to the bag. Tannehill shows bunt, bunts it foul. Sacrifice squeeze looked to be on. That didn't quite pan out. See if they go to it again.
You can see the shortstop playing Elijah close.
Yeah, they're trying to keep him
Set it
on. He is
close
a
at second base.
threat to steal. When the ball got past, he was at second pretty fast. Check down second. Nothing doing. Tannehill waiting on the 1-1 pitch. Ball inside. 2 balls and a strike.
Tannehill is another one of these players that plans to continue playing in college. Probably play at a local junior college next year.
Tannehill on the ground. Shortstop Johnson dives, saves it from going into left field, but Tannehill has a base hit regardless.
Right away, the Cougars have runners on the corners and nobody out.
Right. Saduff has advanced to third.
Stepping out to the plate is Johnson, who's the only one on this team with a home run so far.
Yeah, he'll look to drive in the Cougars' first run and cut this lead in half, potentially equalize it or go ahead. Ogata ready.
Johnson, one of just 2 sophomores that have started most of the season.
Right, the other one is Gideon Libowitz in right field for the Cougars.
And actually recently, Johnson had a key sacrifice fly. It was the game winner in a 3-2 upset win over St. Mary's.
Ground ball over the diving Johnson. Saduff scores, and Jack Johnson has a RBI single.
Right away, the Cougars answer back. Now they've cut the lead to just 1. Nobody out. Runners on first and second for their cleanup hitter and DH, Zachary Chang.
Tannehill moves up. He's at second, again in scoring position. The Cougars are threatening. There's still no outs.
Chang actually leads the team with 12 runs batted in, 14 hits.
Strike 1 called.
Jack Johnson providing Albany's first ribby.
High ball inside. 2-1 is the score. Encinal on top of Albany, but Albany threatening. There are no outs. Tannehill is at second, following an RBI single by Jack Johnson. Chang at the plate, trying to do something. Ball
Chang,
1-1.
a senior, he's been pitching a lot for the Cougars this year, actually. 53 strikeouts in 46 innings thus far. And he did have a streak of 5 straight games with run RBI hits in the first inning, but that was ended.
And today's not pitching, is DHing for the pitcher. Time called before the pitch. No, it's a balk. Balk is called, so both runners are going to advance, and a balk is one of those confusing rules that I'm not even 100% sure on.
And the Cougars really couldn't ask for a better situation.
Right, well now, yeah, they have Tannehill at third and Johnson at second, so both runners are in scoring position. Still no outs, and the possibility of a double play is pretty much out of reach. Or a routine double play, I should say. Called strike. Batter, Zach Chang. The 2-2 pitch. Up the middle, snared by the shortstop Johnson. Jack Johnson, the base runner, will have to return to second, and Kyle Tannehill will stay at third. That's the first out, and now here's Paulie Kennedy, number 18.
Line drive ball caught. Nice defensive play by runner.
Kennedy is hitting in the 5th hole and playing center field.
Kennedy, the only player in his 3rd year starting for the varsity team. He led the league in slugging last year.
So now he'll try to drive in the runs, at least one. They still have 2 outs to play with, but I'm sure they'd rather get it in now. On the ground, into center field. Tannehill will score. Johnson rounds third. He heads to home. He scores. Paulie Kennedy gets into second, a double, a 2 RBI double, and that's what the Cougars want. Now, just like that, they've taken the lead. It's 3-2.
They gotta feel happy right now. They scored just 1 run last time out when they faced this pitcher, so to get 3 runs on the board right away.
And this has the makings of a offensive explosion on both teams, for both teams. Ray Cole, the catcher, comes out to talk to Ogata, try to calm him down. There's still only 1 out.
Now Patrick Shue steps up to the plate.
Patrick Shue, the senior, heading to Harvard next year. He hits a snared by the left fielder, Andrew Lang, and Kennedy will have to return to second. It looked like it was dying towards the end, and it may have been a single, but not quite.
It's bad luck for the Cougars here. A couple well-hit line drives right at fielders.
Right. And now Michael Rabin steps in. He's a junior. Hitting in the 6th hole. Takes a called strike.
And Ravens really hit a stride recently. He was 2 for 4 with a walk and 1 for 1 with a couple of hit by pitches and a walk in his last 2 games.
He's playing second base for the Cougars. Fouls that one off. 0-2.
Hitting 194 on the year.
It's maybe not the most productive for the Cougars, but definitely helps. Ground ball up the middle over the pitcher, but shortstop Johnson gets to it and throws the first out, number 3. So after the end of the half, the Cougars have come back to tie it and take the lead thanks to a 2 RBI double by Paulie Kennedy and an RBI single by Jack Johnson.
And it's early, but it's looking like that's going to be a high-scoring game. Encinal
Right.
scored 11 last time out, and
yeah, well, already the Cougars have scored more runs than they did last time against Kennedy. Encinal.
and
Encinal
they're really
scored.
seeing the ball well.
Right. I mean, Albany only scored 1 run last time. They're up to 3 now. And Encinal last time scored 11. So there's still a long ways to go, but things are looking up for the Cougars if you want to compare last game to this game. So at the end of the first inning, it's Albany 3, Encinal 2 in the senior game for the Albany Cougars as they take on the Encinal Jets here at Memorial Park in Albany. And we would like to remind everybody that this game, today's broadcast of the Albany Encinal varsity game, brought to you by the Contra Costa County Office of Education Regional Occupation Program. So thanks to them. As Johnson gets his last few pitches in. To warm up. So now, what does he need to do to avoid the fate of what happened his last outing, allowing those 2 runs? What does he? And scratch that, the defense will come in and give him some support. Give Robinson, that is, some support. Number 8, batting. Andrew Lang, the center fielder. He's their leadoff hitter for the top of the second. High ball.
Lung batting 8th for this Encinal team, and he's a reason why this team is so deep on offense. He's hitting .353 out of the 8 spot.
Right. Inside. Ball 2. Johnson still having trouble finding his stride. The 2-0 pitch. 2-0 pitch, a ball. Robinson in the hole. Now 3 balls, no strikes. Lang can sit and maybe take a pitch. Strike 1. Called strike, and Lang was doing just that, taking all the way. The fielding for the Cougars, no shifts, everything playing normal. Foul ball, 3-2.
This is a very patient Encinal team. They're really going to challenge Robinson to throw strikes.
Right. Full count now on Lang, who started the at-bat going up 3 balls, no strikes. And that's high, a walk to Lang, their leadoff hitter for the top of the second. Base on balls. And now it's number 9, Alcala.
number 9,
Brandon Alcala.
stepping in.
He is at second base for Encinal today.
Runner at first and nobody out.
And Lang definitely a threat to steal, so Robinson will probably be looking over his way a couple of times in this at-bat. Shows bunt. Goldschmidt has trouble getting it out of his glove in time, but the throw is in time, and Lang is caught trying to steal second. Good throw by catcher Pike Goldschmidt. Right on the money, right where it needs to be. Out number 1.
That'll really help Robinson a lot, as now he can pitch out of the windup. Last inning he spent most of the inning pitching out of the stretch because he had base runners on.
Yeah.
So I
So
can get into a rhythm, hopefully.
now the strategy will change for Alcala at the plate, and now he's hit in the elbow, so he'll get a free pass to first. And I guess you could say we're back where we started. Alcala is at first, and Khalil Johnson will bat next. In his last at-bat, he had a home run, the leadoff home run and first run of the game for either team.
Robinson will have to be careful how he pitches him here, especially with the base runner on. As Johnson demonstrated in the first inning, he's a dangerous hitter.
Right, now check down to Alcala. These Encinal players, almost every single one of them is a threat to steal. That's why Robinson has been looking over so constantly at whoever's at first. As Alcala takes his lead. And pitch high and inside.
You can see Robinson's very frustrated on the mound right now.
Yeah, he is not having too great of a time out there. Check down to first. Alcala has to dive in, but does so safely. Holding him at first is Michael Rabin. That's a fly ball. It's heading in our vicinity and lands somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. That's a foul ball. Count is currently 2 balls and a strike, and now Alcala goes. Throw to second, and they got him. So Albany gets both of their outs on a tag on an attempted steal at second.
Robinson has to be pleased with the help he's getting out here from his defense this time. A walk and a hit by hitch, but they get him out of both situations by throwing out the runners.
Once again, the bases are cleared, so the threat of Johnson has been minimized for what it's worth. Ball outside. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch. High. Goldschmidt pleading with Robinson to get the ball down and relax a little bit.
And once again, he falls behind in the count. 3 balls.
Risks walking Johnson and does so. Ball in the dirt. Base on balls, and Robinson, excuse me, he's walked so far 3 hitters, check that, and his hit 1, so he's given 4 free bases.
Control has been a very big problem for him this game. Having trouble finding the strike zone, and having runners at first, runners on the base paths to distract him, it's not helped.
Right. Johnson takes his lead at first. Check to first. Nothing doing. Patrick Shue is holding him closely. No check. Foul ball. Nope. Check that. A high fly ball heading into the stands. Bounces very close to us.
Out of play for the Cougars, though.
Yeah. Good thing we have this umbrella over us. Out of play. That's a strike. Number 1 for Collinsbride.
And number 5, Brendan Collinsbride, still up. Runner at first.
Collinsbride in his last at-bat grounded out to third. Up the middle. Fielded cleanly and thrown on to first. No problem by the shortstop. Sadu. Excuse me.
Top of the second inning in
So,
the books, folks.
a good
Encinal fails to score
clean
tonight.
ending
Defense on the Albany
for
side,
Robinson
and that
compared
brings
to
us the
the ending
bottom of
before.
two.
He allowed
Albany still with a
3 base
1
runners, all 3 on walks, but 2 were thrown out trying to steal second, and 1 grounded out to short.
And pitching out of that mess was key for him that inning, as next up was Byron Buckley, the team's best hitter, so he'll avoid getting himself into a serious mess.
Right.
Cougars leading 3-2.
Just a reminder, I'm Josh Glatt doing play-by-play alongside Julian Levine, who's my color commentary man for today. We are at Memorial Park in Albany for the senior game of the Albany Cougars and Encinal Jets. The Cougars have taken the lead 3 runs to 2. On the mound for either team, it's Jack Robinson for the Cougars and Mr. Jeff Ogata for Encinal. And stepping up to the plate is the catcher for the Cougars, Pike Goldschmidt, his first at bat. And today's broadcast of the Encinal varsity versus Albany varsity baseball game is brought to you by the Albany High School Athletic Department and Albany High School Sports Fund. So once again, thanks to them for their contribution. Goldschmidt, his first pitch is in the dirt.
Goldschmidt
Ball
hitting
1.
180 this year.
Right, and he's had a little medical trouble, freak accident, if you will, a few days ago, throwing BP to another player on the team.
Sustained a concussion.
Zach Chang, yeah, who was getting BP thrown to. Zach Chang in the batting cage hit the ball back up to Goldschmidt, who then stood up as that's lined over the shortstop's head into center field. Goldschmidt has a leadoff base hit as Lang gets it into second. And Goldschmidt stood up as the ball came and hit him right in the head, and he suffered a minor concussion. He was excused from one of his AP tests today, as a matter of fact. But he looks to be working hard here and showing that those are nothing to be too concerned about in his case. As Goldschmidt has a leadoff single, check down at first. We're in the bottom of the second, and
Goldschmidt
batting now
wearing
is
stirrups for today's senior game.
right. Gideon Lebowitz, who takes a called strike.
They're very colorful socks, black and red.
Lebowitz for the Cougars is playing in right field. You're talking Pike Sox. And nope, foul ball. The play continues, but the umpire is signaling that the play should have been dead a while ago. We'll see what the call is. Everyone's a little confused, and now Goldschmidt will return to first. Lebowitz will return to the dugout. So that's an out.
Heads up base running by Goldschmidt there, though.
Yeah, he didn't stop to look. That's good. And that'll go down
those
as out.
socks, those magic stirrups.
So after that, out number 1, Elijah Saduff. Saduff had a single in his first at bat. Ball in the dirt, Goldschmidt stays.
And he was responsible for starting that first inning rally for the Cougars last inning. He ended up scoring 3 runs, and they still have a 3-2 lead right now.
Right. He had the leadoff single. Goldschmidt and his nifty Sox take their lead at first. Check down. Nothing doing. Goldschmidt steps off again. Ogata still on the mound. That's a called strike, a breaking ball. Low and outside of Saduff, but still good.
You can see Goldschmidt's really rattling the pitcher on the base pass.
Definitely. And Goldschmidt isn't really threat to steal, as you see his socks there, what we've referred to. Kind of a rarity nowadays. That's a ball inside. Not many people can wear the socks like he does. Brings me back to the polo ground days. Swing and a miss. Seduth misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Goldschmidt remains at first as he looks down to the third base coach, Jim Giblin, to get the sign. Into right field. Goldschmidt has to hurry into second, and he makes it. The throw from Buckley bounced in front of Johnson covering second. Goldschmidt had to pause because it was a line drive going into right, so he couldn't get the quick burst that he needed.
One of the things we've seen here from this Cougars team today, even when they're making outs, is a lot of loud contact, and hard line drives. They're really seeing the ball well today. Stepping out to the plate.
Cougars once again are threatening.
Third baseman, Tannehill.
Tannehill in his last at-bat singled. Swings and misses on the first pitch.
Entered this game hitting 128 on the season. And Tannehill actually has a long history of baseball in his family. His father, Kevin, was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 19th round of the 1989 draft. Played a couple seasons at catcher in their farm system.
In the dirt, pass ball. Both runners advance. Goldschmidt to third, Seduth to second.
Tannehill, of course, started this year as the team's main catcher, but he's since moved over to third.
Both in scoring position, 1 out. Albany with a 3-2 lead in the bottom of 2.
So after that pass ball, it's 1-1. Goldschmidt looking as if he's going to go try to steal home, but doesn't. And that's a ball, high and inside.
And Goldschmidt, stirred up socks and all, is really trying to rattle the pitcher today.
Definitely.
He's having fun on the base pass.
The socks, and when you get those nice slide marks to add to it. On the ground, shortstop Johnson to first. Out number 2. Ground out. Goldschmidt couldn't go. Johnson fielded the ball and then looked over to third to make sure he would not attempt to go. And now Jack Johnson will come to bat. So Goldschmidt stays at third, and Seduth stays at second. Johnson had an RBI base hit in his last at-bat, the first one for the Cougars. Swing and miss, a good changeup from Ogata.
Johnson's really been one of the better hitters on this team this season. You can see why he slotted up in the third spot. Had an RBI single that last inning.
Check swing. Umpire says he went around. 0-2. Johnson spits out some seeds and waits for the 0-2 pitch. Fly ball, heading foul into right field, and it is foul. Lands in the dog park. Johnson stays alive but still behind. No balls, 2 strikes. Ogata has struggled a bit against these Cougars in this game. So it seems the Cougars offense or their bats have come to life in what is just statistically an unusual show for us this early. Ball outside. Goldschmidt at third, Seduth at second, 2 outs. Johnson to third, snared by Collins Bride, who throws to first. So that's out number 3. The Cougars threaten. They had runners at third base and second base, but can't do anything with it. And the score remains 3-2, still in favor of the Cougars.
Score remains like the song, the same. It is Albany 3, Encinal 2.
So, after 2 innings of baseball, still Cougars 3, Encinal 2 in this senior day game. And the Cougars look to be putting in a new pitcher. It's going to be number 4.
Lucas Jovanovic.
Lucas Jovanovic, right.
Jovanovic.
He's going to come in for Robinson.
1-4 with a 5.45 ERA on the season.
And today's broadcast of the Albany Encinal varsity game is brought to you through generous mentoring and technical support from Rom Rosenbaum and Clearcom Intercom Systems of Alameda. As Goldschmidt suits up and heads out. And leading off for Encinal, it'll be number 3, Byron Buckley, who had an infield single and later came around to score. As Jovanovic gets his last few warm-up tosses in to make his senior day debut.
So far we've seen this as an offensive focused game. Both teams threatening in the second after putting up a few runs in the first. We'll see if Lucas can keep the, we'll see if Jovanovic can keep the Jets quiet this inning.
So, looks like we're set to start this top half of the third, as Byron Buckley will come up to hit against Jovanovic, the first hitter that Jovanovic will face, and this is a challenge, to say the least. First pitch, a called strike outside.
That is number 3, Byron Buckley, starting things up. Top of the third.
Buckley is Encinal's right fielder. Fly ball drifting into left field. Shortstop Saduth calls off the left fielder Johnson to make the out number 1.
By the way, the new pitcher for Albany.
Last inning we saw the Jets were challenging Robinson to throw strikes, so it's going to be key for Jovanovic to maintain control as he faces the heart of this lineup.
Ground ball past Kyle Tannehill at third base, and Penrose will have a single. That was a hard hit ball. Maybe something that Tannehill should have had.
That's exactly what the Cougars need to avoid today if they're going to win this game.
Right, well, it's a defense that killed them last time against Encinal.
Number 17, Christian Leon.
Penrose just hit. Penrose got a single, and now batting it's number 17, Christian Lang. Lang, the lefty. Swing and miss, a ball in the dirt. Good block by Goldschmidt. At first is Buckley. Excuse me, Penrose. Check that. Penrose takes his lead. The pitch. Ball. It was close. That's what it's called, and Jovanovic is showing some frustration. 2 balls. Into the hole and right past Rabin. Penrose will advance to second, and Lang will have a single. In Lang's last at bat, it was an unofficial at bat. He walked.
And the second for the 18, Jeff Ogata, the pitcher.
Come on, Jeff, your turn, guys. Solid hit.
The pitcher, Jeff Ogata, is up for Encinal. Runners at first and second. Foul ball. Strike one. The foul ball from Ogata.
All right, Jeff, you ready, guy?
Ivanovic shuts in.
The second pitch of the at-bat outside. And now Goldschmidt calls time to go out and talk to Ivanovic, who looks to be frazzled also.
Looked like a curve there.
Meeting. It's over. Goldschmidt returns behind the plate.
Good eye, Jeff.
One ball. One strike to Ogata. Foul ball. Two strikes.
You ready, guy?
One, two. Fine.
Swing and a miss. Ball low. Strikeout number one for Jovanovic. And out number two for the Encinal Jets in this half inning. Ogata goes down swinging, and Nicholas Solis will be the DH hitting. Solis in his last at bat. Grounded out. Runners at first and second. The pitch in the dirt. Goldschmidt blocks it.
Ivanovic breaking out the curveball again there. It's been a weapon for him this season.
At second, it's Penrose. At first, it's Lang. Swing and a miss by Solis. One ball, one strike.
Comes right back at him with the fastball.
Ivanovic ready to throw. 1-1 inside. It'll get by Goldschmidt, but neither runner advances. Penrose elects to stay at second.
Great job by Goldschmidt holding the runners there.
Count runs 2 balls, 1 strike to Nick Solis.
Keeping the double play situation intact. Gonna
Right.
be key for the Cougars here.
Foul ball, getting to the dog park. Count runs even, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Nick Solis, the DH. Hitting for the catcher, Reiko Machuca. Score currently 3-2, Albany on top of Encinal. But Encinal threatening. They have Penrose in scoring position. And a strikeout for Jovanovic. So Jovanovic strikes out 2 batters in this half and leaves 2 on base. After
That will retire the side. In fact, that has retired the side. We're summing up on the bottom of 3. Albany still leads 3-2.
After 2.5 innings, it's Albany 3, Encinal 2. And the pitcher for Encinal is number 18, Jeff Ogata, continues to be, despite Albany changing their pitchers. He'll go through. And today's broadcast of the Albany Encinal varsity baseball game is brought to you by Albany Student Broadcasting. That's us. As
Brought to you by us.
Encinal gathers behind their pitcher, Ogata. They throw down to second. And Zachary Chang will lead it off for the Cougars. And sitting fourth in place of now, or what was Jack Robinson, the pitcher, one time now, Lucas Jovanovic. What can the Cougar pitching change do for them, do you think?
Right, Jeff, nice pitches, guy.
And the first pitch of the bottom of the third is a ball to Zach Chang.
That is Zach Chang stepping in, by the way, to start things up in the bottom of 3.
Zach Chang in his last at bat is a fair ball into left field. Chang rounds first, heading to second. A little trouble with it in the corner, but Chang will stay at second. He won't try to go for 3.
Literally hugging just to the right of the left.
As Andrew Lang had a little trouble with it, picking it up as it went into the corner. Chang has a leadoff double.
Spencer, what are you doing? What do you need?
Next up, it's
Number 18.
Ollie
Chang,
Kennedy.
Senior.
Yeah.
He'll probably stop playing baseball after this year.
And something I've noticed, he's one of the few players I've seen that isn't wearing batting gloves. As that bunt goes foul. Trying to get Chang over to third.
Chang like Goldschmidt rocking the stirrups today.
Oh, right, I didn't even notice. Chang also. A show of solidarity, if you will. As there are the Sox. The pitch low and outside. The stirrups from Chang and the stirrups from Goldschmidt, putting 2 and 2 together. Chang was the one that hit Goldschmidt in the head during batting practice and gave him a concussion. So that could be the show of solidarity. As that pitch is a foul ball heading right into the stands, and Penrose can't get to it in time. It bounces right in front of him, right in front of the Cougar bull dugout, rather. Kennedy sitting on 2 strikes and a ball. In Kennedy's last at bat, he had the big double, 2 RBI double that gave Albany their 2 runs of the 3 in that inning. Ball inside.
Tried to sneak a breaking ball by him there, but missed inside.
2 and 2.
So they can hear each other. No, we did different things. We didn't do that.
The pitch from Ogata. Ball, full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. At second is Chang still. He had the leadoff double of the inning.
You know you're going to unplug something later. That's just think of it that way. There you go. There you go.
On the ground, into left field. Chang rounds, holds up at third thanks to a strong throw by the left fielder, Lang. And Paulie Kennedy, thinking on his feet, moves to second. Oh, it would have been a single.
Kennedy's second hit on the day.
And his second double, Kennedy's second double.
At second and third for number 24, Patrick Zhu. Nobody out.
Patrick Shu is up.
Shu, as mentioned earlier, very bright student. Be majoring in applied math at Harvard.
Into left field, Lang gets it. Tagging up from third is Chang, the play at the plate. He tries to slide around the tag and is safe. Kennedy advances to third. So a sacrifice fly as all the dust flies into our booth. A sacrifice fly by Patrick Shu does a trick, and the Cougars have taken a 4-2 lead.
Heads up base running by both Chang and Kennedy there. extends the Cougars' lead to.
And now the Encinal coach is out jawing at his catcher. That's Ray Kolmachuka. Now yelling at the umpire, concerned over the slide, claiming that Chang didn't touch home plate when he slid around home plate. Now talking to one of his assistant coaches.
And Encinal has Cole Machuca in there just for his defense, so.
Jim Saunders, the coach for Encinal. Michael Rabin, the second baseman for the Cougars, is up to bat. Kennedy jogs down the third baseline and returns after a called strike one.
Raven actually inherited the starting second base job from his brother, Michael Raven. Went off to college last year.
On the ground, second base. Play at the plate, Kennedy, a collision, but he is tagged out by Reiko Machuca. Throw from Johnson. So Michael Raven will have a single. That'll give 2 outs to Albany.
With a runner at first.
Probably should have waited, Kennedy should have, after seeing the ground ball that was fielded near perfect by the shortstop, Johnson. Nevertheless, here we stand, and now Pike Goldschmidt, who had a single in his first at-bat, stands in with Michael Rabin at first.
Good take by Goldschmidt there.
Ball one. Goldschmidt rocking the stirrup still. High and inside, ball number 2. Rabin remains second.
Attending UC Berkeley next year. Got an incentive award and a Kiwani scholarship, so he'll be heading off to Cal.
He's also a science bowler.
Another very bright student on this team.
Right. Time is called. Goldschmidt steps out, steps back in. Called strike one. Goldschmidt, the 8th hitter. All the wind coming into our booth. Ground ball down the left field line. Rabin rounding second. He's gonna he's gonna stay at third. Goldschmidt has a double. Goldschmidt has had his day from the plate. First a single and now a double.
And you can see Leung is positioned very far to the right in left field. Made it hard for him to get to that ball quickly.
We have 2 outs. Runners at second and third as Gideon Lebowitz steps in, hoping to drive in a run. Takes a called strike.
Lebowitz had his season interrupted by a high ankle sprain.
That gave way to Jack Johnson, who is also in this game hitting third. He was on the bench for a while and then filled in, and for Lebowitz, that's a ground ball to Alcala at second, throws on to Penrose, out number 3. As I was saying, Johnson came in for Lebowitz, who was injured, and has been in the rotation alongside ever since. So after the bottom of the third, the Cougars score 1. They're now up 4 runs to 2. As we would like to take a moment to remind you that the special thank you to Jeremy Allen, City of Albany Youth Services Manager. Thank you to him. He's here. Saw him walking around a bit and getting some instruction. On the mound for the Cougars, it's still Jovanovic. He'll remain in. Robinson, the pitcher that was in before him, lasted just 2 innings. Coming up for Encinal, number 8, it will be the 8th hitter, Andrew Lang, center fielder, or excuse me, left fielder. As Goldschmidt comes out to do his catching duties. Throw down to Rabin at second. And now Lang steps in. We're ready to start this top half of the 4th inning.
The battery for Albany remains the same. Jovanovic to Goldschmidt. And number 8, Andrew Leung, one of the battling Leung.
In the field for the Cougars, it's the catcher Pike Goldschmidt at first. Patrick Shue second is Michael Rabin. Third is Elijah Seduth. Kyle Tannehill at third. Jack Johnson in left. In right, it's Lebowitz. And in center, it's Paulie Kennedy. As that first pitch is taken for a ball to Andrew Lang. Swing and a miss, strike number 1.
Ivanovic doing a good job keeping the ball down in the zone so far this game.
You said that again.
The 1-1 pitch.
And look what happened.
Called a ball. In his first at-bat, Andrew Lang walked and then attempted to steal second but was thrown out by Goldschmidt. Foul ball. Strike number 2. Counts even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's the wind, we're battling the wind here. 4-2 the score. The pitch, a breaking ball, strikeout number 3 for Jovanovic. He had 2 in his first half inning of work.
Nice glasses.
Strikeout swinging.
Another strikeout for Lucas Jovanovic. Nicely done. Number 9, Brandon Albany.
Number 9
has been solid so far for the Cougars in relief of Jack Robinson.
Number 9, Brandon. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Brandon Alcala is in. Takes a called strike. Alcala in his first at-bat, he was hit on the elbow. Got a free pass to first and then was thrown out like the man before him trying to steal second. Strike 2 swinging. No balls, 2 strikes. High and outside, ball number 1. Some members in the crowd here don't quite agree with that call. There's Jovanovic, ready to throw. Check swing, called a ball, regardless. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jovanovic settling the mound, finding his groove and getting comfortable. The 2-2 pitch. Ball 3-2. Goldschmidt asking him to settle down. After starting 0-2, he's now behind 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Ivanovic doesn't want to allow a base runner here with the top of the order coming up next.
High fly ball, heading foul.
Again, out of play.
Very out of play. We'll try the 3-2 pitch again. Tannehill had rushed in from third and now returns. The 3-2 pitch. Ball number 4. So Alcala now has had 2 at-bats, and neither of them have been official at-bats. They've both been walks. Goldschmidt out to talk to Jovanovic, and the leadoff hitter, Khalil Johnson, who walked in his last at-bat and hit a solo home run in the first at-bat of the game. Left fielder Jack Johnson moving over to try and assist any ball that would go out there from Johnson.
Fielders positioned at double play depth.
At first, Alcala, who's a threat to steal. Jovanovic agrees and checks over. We're in the top of the 4th. 4-2 Albany. 1 out. The strikeout by Andrew Lang. Jovanovic goes to check on Alcala. Johnson, Kaleo Johnson, still awaiting the first pitch of his at-bat. On the ground to first. And Shu will just take it himself, unassisted out. He'll touch first. Meanwhile, Alcala will advance into scoring position at second. Give us 2 outs for the Cougars as number 5, Brandon Collins-Bride, the third baseman, steps in. Chance for an RBI.
Brandon Collins-Bride stepping up. Runner at second, 2 outs.
Collins-Bride awaits the first pitch. A called strike.
Collins-Bride entered this game hitting .373 on the season. 10 runs batted in.
Certainly one of Encinal's top hitters.
Collins-Bride really doesn't have a lot of power, but he's been excellent at getting on base this season.
High foul ball goes out of play. Right near us as Jovanovic ran over to behind the plate to try to field that, as did Goldschmidt, staying in his position, and third baseman Kyle Tannehill. They all convened on the ball. Where that ball went, landed somewhere near us. I heard the sound. Oh, there it is. Rolling down as someone goes to grab it. The 0-1 pitch is a fly ball. Lebowitz will watch it hit off the right field fence. Alcala will score from second, and that'll be a long, loud single for Collins-Bride, his first of the game, as he was 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts up until now.
Scores a run, and that will bring up number 3, Byron Buckley, with 2 outs. And a runner at first.
Now it's Byron Buckley's turn. He had an infield single in his first at-bat and popped out to Siddharth, the shortstop, in his second. Ball 1, Goldschmidt pretends to throw down to first to try and get Collins-Bride, who isn't much of a threat to steal. Jovanovic checks on Collins-Bride at first. 1 ball, no strikes is the count currently. So once again, we're dealing with the wind here. Ball high and outside. 0-2. Or excuse me, 2-0. Byron Buckley waits for the pitch. Low and outside. Jovanovic has fallen behind quickly. 3 balls, no strikes.
It'll be interesting to see how he pitches them here.
Right, and
dangerous hitter. He doesn't want to leave a ball over the zone.
Yeah, Buckley could just sit and watch this next pitch, take it like they tell you to do. We'll see. does just that, takes a called strike. So Ivanovic gets his first strike of the at-bat and throws the ball in the dirt. That's a walk for Buckley. And Collins Bride will advance to second.
Stepping up to the plate, Eric Penrose.
Penrose stepping in as Ivanovic asks for a new ball.
Number 3, Byron Buckley draws the walk.
Encinal threatening to tie the game up, and they could with a single as Collins Bride, the third baseman, stands at second base. And a single from Eric Penrose could do the trick, tie the game up at 4. It's 4-3 currently in the top of the 4th.
Penrose, one of the Jets' big power hitters, and facing a lefty on the mound right now. He has an advantage.
Ivanovic steps off the mound and waits, wipes the sweat from his forehead. Stares in and waits for the call from Goldschmidt. Pitch a hard foul ball to third base side as number 17, Christian Lang, had to two-step out of the way of it. Meanwhile, the count is no balls and 2 strikes for Penrose.
Once again, Ivanovic will try for a double play ball here.
Penrose on the ground, back to the pitcher. Ivanovic will just go to first for out number 3. And after 3.5 innings of work, the score is still 4-3 Cougars. Encinal scored 1 in this half inning, thanks to the RBI single by Collins Bride.
It is now 4-3 in favor of Albany, coming back to the bottom of the 4th in just a sec.
The bottom of the 4th we go, and today's broadcast will be available on Albany Comcast Channel 33 and online at albanystudentbroadcasting.org. And I assume that online, aside from the website, it'll also be available on YouTube. I'm correct. If we can get a confirmation for what the name of the YouTube channel is. It's Albany Student Broadcasting on YouTube. What's up? Oh, yeah. If you go...
Ogata will come out to pitch another inning for this Encinal team. He pitched 4 innings his last time out.
Ogata remains on the mound for Encinal as the shortstop Elijah Saduth will come and hit.
And the Cougars will see if they can answer back here. They have the top of their order coming back.
Right, Saduth is 2 for 2. He singled in both his at-bats.
With Elijah Saduth, number 2. Stepping in, nobody on, nobody out.
First pitch to Saduth. A lazy fly ball to the shortstop. Second baseman, right, Alcala.
Now stepping in, Kyle Tannehill.
With one out, nobody on, number 11, Kyle Tannehill steps in.
Kyle Tannehill, the third baseman, steps in. He's 1 for 2. He grounded out to shortstop in his last at-bat and singled in his leadoff at-bat. We'd like to take a minute to recognize the crew. Jeff Castle, our director. Nir Maus, our assistant director. Ned Purdom, our producer. Alex Morales, technical producer, as that ball is smoked out to left center and past the outstretched glove of the left fielder, Andrew Lang. Tannehill will slide into second safely. A double for Tannehill.
And once again, Lang struggles out there in left field.
One. Deep to center field.
Now it's Jack Johnson's turn to try to score an RBI and get the Cougars the lead back up to 2.
Johnson stepping in. He's got a run at
But
second
we'd like to
and
thank
one.
Alex Morales, our technical director, Spencer Perry, our audio engineer, who fixed some major problems we were having pregame. Zoli Cocker, engineer in charge. Ori Maus, Ryan Glatt, Tova Solomon, our camera operators, Julian Levine, our color commentator, and I'm
Tannehill, that's the third
Josh
base
Glatt,
there.
play-by-play.
On the pass ball.
Ball scrambles around behind home plate. Runner advances to third for Jack Johnson. Still 1 out.
Pass ball, ball 1. Tannehill moves over to third. Johnson fouls it off his foot, pops up limping, and will take a minute to try to relieve the pain.
Looks like that got him good there.
Yeah, Jim Giblin will come in and check on him, make sure he's all right. Safety comes first. Johnson's all right. Shakes it off, stretches it out, and steps back into the box. Ball and a strike. Following the foul ball is Giblin whispers into the ear of Kyle Tannehill at third.
Nice pitches, Jeff.
Ball in the dirt.
2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike. And a swing and a miss, or foul tip, excuse me, into the glove of the catcher, Reiko Machuca. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the third baseman for Encinal, Collins Bride, continues. He holds Tannehill at third in between pitches, and then right before Ogata goes to throw, he sprints out to get in position. It's a high fly ball into right field.
We'll see if that's far enough to get Tannehill home.
Tannehill thought about going, but holds up. Probably a wise decision, as that was a strong throw from Byron Buckley. And Collins Bride was playing right on the edge of the grass, so they were expecting some kind of suicide squeeze potentially from Johnson.
And stepping up, the cleanup hitter, Zachary Chang.
And that will be 2 outs for the Cougars, as Zachary Chang takes strike 1. Up the middle, and will get down. Tannehill will score, and it gets by Lang, the center fielder. Chang rounds second. He's headed to third. And the throw will not be in time. Chang, that was an error in part on the center fielder, so it'll be scored as a single and an error.
And that'll be another extra base hit for Chang. The Lang brothers really being challenged out there, the outfield today.
Right now, Holly Kennedy will hit as Reiko Machuca goes out to talk to Ogata.
Come on, Jets. One more, guys.
Score at the moment, it's
Nice pitches.
5-3 Albany after that run from Tannehill. The scoreboard's a bit off out there in left. Kennedy takes a called strike.
Score now 5-3. I am corrected. Excuse me.
Smoked into right center field.
That'll
Chang will
Chang.
score. Kennedy on his way to second. He'll slide in. He'll stay standing, excuse me. Sliding is the second baseman, Alcala, who tried to apply the tag.
Hey, if we're doing some hitting, let me get a piece.
You gotta wonder how much longer Ogata's gonna remain in this game. He's now allowed 6 runs.
Another.
Right, his Days look to be numbered soon. That'll be Kennedy's third RBI for him, so he's half of the Cougars' run production as he drove Chang in to bring the score to 6-3. Kennedy takes his lead. Ball hit into the same place, right center field by number 24. Kennedy will score from second. The play at second, safe as
another ball smoked into the outfield, and you really got to wonder how much Ogata has left in the tank.
And Patrick Hsu gets his RBI. He had a sacrifice fly. That was his first RBI of the game, and his now first official at bat.
And it looks like Ray Coleman Chuko will come out to speak to Ogata. The whole infield coming in.
And now there's a meeting at the mound. Head coach included. So all but the outfielders have come in to speak.
It's looking like that's it for Ogata as he steps off the mound. Yep, it's looking like Eric Penrose will take over on the mound today for the Encinal Jets. So he'll start to get warm.
He moves from first base to the pitching spot.
Yeah, unfortunately they couldn't get the out there, but Chang was able to record the final out nonetheless.
Go pro camera. Penrose to Tannehill, called to strike one. Bouncing ball in the dirt gets past catcher Ray Coleman Machuca, but doesn't matter, there's no one on base. Ball one as dust rolls across the infield. It's coming a bit of an obstacle. High fly ball into center. Three fielders convene, but it's the center fielder Long who traps it.
And now Jack Johnson will step to the plate.
Johnson, who had an RBI single in his first at-bat and flew out to right field in his last. He, of course, fouled the ball off his foot, which caused some problems for him earlier. Johnson awaits the pitch.
Oh no!
Check swing, ball high. Silence here at Memorial Park from the stands as that pitch is taken low. 2 balls and a strike. Penrose on the mound, having switched in for Ogata, who struggled a bit. Allowed 5 runs. Penrose has allowed just 2.
And quickly, Johnson is ahead in the count 3-1. Once again, he's worth the count in his favor. We'll see if he can get a pitch to hit here.
Penrose to throw. Johnson, Joe's bunt pulls back and takes a called strike. And something I've noticed, Penrose likes to work fast. He doesn't wait around. He's ready, set, and raring to go as Johnson takes another called strike. 2 strikes for Johnson. The full count pitch fouled off. Full count after the foul ball. Defense for Encinal as Johnson is called out. Strike 3 looking. Penrose's second strikeout. Both of them called strikeouts. Encinal's defense hasn't changed since the pitching switch back in the third inning. Ogata is at first for where Penrose was, but everything else is the same. Collins Bride is at third, Johnson at short, Alcala at second, Long at seventh, Andrew Long at second, Christian Long in center, Buckley in right.
And now Chang will step in to bat. And he gets hit by a pitch immediately. That looked like it hurt.
And Chang didn't look too thrilled. The umpire came out to make sure there were no hard feelings, as if you recall, there was the hits batsman before. They can pull that out. Alcala was hit by Ivanovic back in the second inning. So with 2 outs and a runner at first.
And now Chang at first base. We'll see if he can score and maybe give himself more of a cushion on the mound.
Right, and Cougars have 2 outs. Kennedy is up to bat, and he has done some damage, to say the least. He's doubled 3 times and has drove in 3 runs.
Yeah, you will see that out of Paulie Kennedy. Kennedy, of course, was second on the team in slugging as a sophomore, so he's got a lot of power in that bat.
2 straight balls in the dirt, 2 balls. 5-7, Cougars on top of Encinal in the bottom of the 6th. There are 2 outs as the number 5 hitter, Paulie Kennedy, steps in with a runner at first. Called strike.
And Kennedy did not look thrilled with that call. The ball was a bit low and away, but umpire called it a strike.
Ball in the dirt. Chang elects to try and make it to second and does. So now Chang moves into scoring position. Kennedy has a chance for his 4th RBI.
Paulie Kennedy now with a runner in scoring position. 2 outs, runner at second. The bottom of the 6th.
2 outs. Ball on the ground. Johnson at short picks it up, throws to first. Close.
That'll be the
but
final out of the inning.
Yep, still an out. So nothing doing for the Cougars. They get a runner to second. That would be the pitcher, Matt Chang, after he reached from a hit by pitch. But other than that, it was a quiet inning.
This will be the last chance for Encinal here to see if they can try and tie up this game or even take the lead. Chang coming back to pitch 7th inning.
This could be it. Chang coming to get the save, what I guess didn't start as a save opportunity when he arrived, but now has turned into one. A 2-run game, 5-7. Cougars on top in the 7th inning. Defense for Albany remains the same. It's Jack Johnson in left, Paulie Kennedy in center, and Tommy Kurtz, rather, in right, in for Lebowitz, who was pinch hit for. In the infield, Tannehill at third, Saduth at short, Rabin at second, Shu at third, and catching like he has been very well the entire game is Pike Goldschmidt. Into pitch is Michael Cheng. So hopefully for the Cougars, they can make this a quick 1-2-3 inning and go home and celebrate their senior day with a win. For Encinal, it'll be a pinch hitter, or it was a pinch hitter at the time. Number 2, David Gilbert, who came in and pinch hit for Andrew Long a few innings ago. Now takes a called strike 1.
One thing that's interesting about this Cougars defense is it's nearly all seniors right now. Got Chang on the mound, Goldschmidt at catcher, Tannehill at third, Saduth at short, Shu at first, and Kurtz and Kennedy in the outfield. So
of course, the exception Jack Johnson in left and Michael Rabin at second, sophomore and a junior, respectively. 1-1 pitch inside, ball 2. Chang stares in and waits for the sign, looking a bit more confident after last inning. Other than this walk to Gilbert, a leadoff walk. Number 9 steps in, Brandon Alcala. Alcala has no official at bat, even though he's been in the game. The entire game he was walked all 3 times, attempted to steal second once, and was thrown out by Goldschmidt.
If you're not going to throw, frame the pitch, babe. Frame the pitch if you ain't going to throw.
Called strike, 1 ball, 1 strike to Brandon Alcala. Chang to throw, Alcala to Tannehill at third. Goes to second, Rabin elects not to throw, but importantly they get the lead runner, Gilbert. So that's out number 1.
The hints of a double play in the air, but an out recorded.
Alcala will stand at third.
Leo Johnson.
And Kaleo Johnson, who hit a home run in his first at-bat. Check on Alcala. Hit a home run in his first at-bat. A walk in his second. Grounded out to first in his third at-bat. And reached on an error in his last.
The Cougars just 2 outs away from winning this game.
Alcala reached a base. That's where he is now off of fielder's choice. Now Goldschmidt and Giblin will go out and talk to Chang. The plate gets dusted off by our home plate umpire. A quick meeting. Pike returns smiling. This must have been a good one.
If Chang can just induce a ground ball here, there's a good chance he can send the Cougars home with a win right now.
Right, a double play, a pitcher's best friend. The pitch to Johnson, hit hard into left center field. Kennedy will have to go all the way back to the wall. Alcala will score from first after this throw, and Johnson will have a double.
And just like that, Encinal has tied up this game.
And not quite. They're down 1 run. It's 7-6.
Still down 1 run.
So Alcala scores from first. Johnson will have an RBI double. And he's been the hard hitter for Encinal.
The winning run is at the plate for the Jets right now with their top hitter, Byron Buckley, on deck.
Johnson takes his lead. This is a high-pressure situation, to say the least. In the dirt, a good stop by Goldschmidt.
Chang does have a base to work with here, but I don't think he wants to bring Buckley up to the plate with runners on first and second.
No. Buckley, he had an infield single, but he's been relatively quiet, just historically speaking. He has had the Cougars' number. As that's a foul ball. Ball and a strike. As you see our GoPro camera. Hopefully this won't be the last time we get to show it. It won't be for future, but for this game it may be. Just quite a crowd has built up and has become excited. On the Albany side, a ground ball to Tannehill, who throws across the diamond to first, out number 2. Meanwhile, Johnson advances to third.
Heads up base running from Johnson right there as he advances to third. And now Encinal has the tying run 90 feet away from home plate with Byron Buckley, their top hitter, stepping onto the plate. 1 out away from closing this game. Chang sets in.
This is as good as it gets. Sets a ball. Low to Buckley. At the moment, it's 6-7. Cougars on top. There are 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, which is equivalent to the, top of the 7th, which is equivalent to the 9th in the majors.
That ball is smoked foul as it counts even, 1-1.
And currently the tying run is at third in Kaleo Johnson. Buckley has a chance to drive him in, and Buckley's been the top hitter for Encinal, as that ball is
and you see
high
Goldschmidt
outside.
pumping a fake throw to third base there.
The 2-1 pitch from Chang. High and outside, same location, same pitch. 3 balls and a strike. Fly ball into left field. Johnson camps under it, makes the out, and the Cougars will celebrate their senior day with a victory over Encinal. 6-7 the final. Chang came in and finished the game after the great pitching performance by Jovanovic and the great pitching performance by Jack Robinson to start the game.
Ready? Are we ready? Yeah, take off.
So, just to recap, at Memorial Field on Senior Day, the Cougars pull off what some people say would be an upset, 6-7 the final, as we will be back with interviews in a moment.
To the U.S. We rockin' this contagious, monkey business outrageous. Just confess your girl admits that we the shit. F-R-E-S-H, we fresh. G-E-F, that's right, we different. We definite. B-E-P, we reppin' it. So, turn me up, turn me up, turn me up. Come on, baby, just pump it.
My foot like we like stand.
I'm here with Paulie Kennedy, Pike Goldschmidt, and Lucas Jovanovic after a 7-6 Cougars win over the Encinal Jets. And Paulie, how about you talk about the game you had today? You got a few hits, 3 doubles. What was that like?
Well, I was just looking to relax every at bat, wait for the pitches to come to me. I was just thinking hit ball, see ball, take it 1 pitch at a time. And when you do that, you just hit the ball. And I got 3 good hits there. I made good contact, ran the bases well. That's what I got to do. There was runners on base. I was looking to score them, and you see the score. We did well.
Last time you faced this Encinal team, you guys lost 11-1, but this game you were able to defeat them. It was close, but you ended up with the win. How did you manage to overcome that slump?
Well, we tightened up our defense. We have had momentum from the last 4 games. I mean, we've been 3 for 4 in the last games we've played, and I mean the 1 game we lost, man, it was an extra inning, so we've been hot recently, and we've just tightened it up. Our offense has gotten hot, our defense has gotten has gone crisp, and our pitching has really been there for us. So I mean, we're really starting to play at the ball club we are.
Thank you. Now, Pike, you guys fell behind early in this game, and you were able to battle back from the first inning deficit. Can you talk about what that was like?
Yeah, I mean, first guy up, led off the game with a home run. Told Jack if he's going to give one up, make sure it's a long one. That one constitutes as a long one. Just told him have fun, come out there. We came back with a couple of our own. We weren't going to let these kids beat us. I mean, we wanted it more. Senior day, went out with a bang. I think we did a good job.
You had a couple hits today, and you really 1 double and a single. Can you talk about how you were able to focus and have a good game at the plate?
Yeah, I mean, they were coming out first pitch curveball. They were missing low. So after that, pretty much they're going to come back with a fastball, especially how well they were missing. So sat fastball, got a couple good pitches, got around on it. Just felt good.
All right, thank you. And now, Lucas, you were called in the game rather early, I believe in the 3rd inning, and ended up giving this team 3 strong innings. Can you talk about what that was like?
Well, like, if we had the first inning we had and that rough start, like, if we had that rough start earlier in the year, then we probably would just falter and everything would fall apart. But thing is, like, lately as a team, we've been picking each other up, and I just really wanted to do my part and pick Jack up. And I know later Zach picked me up. So really, it was a team effort, and that was all, really. Yeah.
So this was the senior game. You guys finally beat this Encinal team. Now what's next for you guys?
Well, St. Mary's, if they fall in their next, I think there was 1 more or 2 more, will be tied with them record-wise in the league.
We play tiebreak.
No, we have the tiebreak because we beat them in the last game. So we'll get in on that 4th seed and play them again next week on their field. Should be a fun one. Otherwise, we're plus 500 in the league. NTS or Max Prep says we're projected to be like the 10 seed right now. We'll probably go up to maybe 9, 8, 7. If we play Miramani Friday, that'll be a good game.
All right, so there you have it. Cougars with a 7-6 win over the Encinal Jets at home. Lucas Jovanovic with 3 strong innings of relief, and Pike Goldschmidt and Paulie Kennedy with great games at the plate. Right back to you, Josh. Someone's talking to me. I have no idea what's going on.
We good?
Thanks, Julian. Yeah, it was a terrific senior
Someone
day
talking
and
to me?
one
Yeah,
that
it is live.
they will all remember, especially
Live to tape.
those who are leaving. So to recap, the Cougars beat Encinal, their division rival, 7-6 in a game that started out looking like it would be an offensive explosion by the Cougars. It got closer and was as exciting as it gets. So for Albany Student Broadcasting and our producers, our directors, everybody that volunteered and helps out, for Julian Levine, my play-by-play assistant, and for myself, thank you for watching.